Wow, 200,000. If a video of mine did 200,000, I could retire tomorrow.
I hope it will happen to you once.
I sleep very well at night in the knowledge that it will never happen. Right, Pynx, how are you doing? How are you feeling today? How's it going?
Fine, fine. And you?
I'm positively excited for this, especially given that when Bamis brings me an idea, I know it's going to be a good one. And I wanted to, first of all, thank you very much for getting in touch and wanting to bring this special thing that we'll all learn about this evening to the international community. And we sort of wanted to start with something a bit mellow, just to get the mood right, get you all settled, and get me out of my nerves. Would you mind just introducing yourself to us in as much detail as you want? Who is Pynx? Who is the author of this application? Who is the person behind it that we don't see? What can you tell us about yourself?
What can I say? Maybe I can start with the fact that I'm playing since 25,
Ooh,
2005.
2005.
So it's been a long time. I was a kid.
Wow.
And I'm still playing today. But I'm not alone on Ganymede. We are actually a team of 4 devs, and also 2 more people that are writing the guides with us.
Awesome. Awesome.
So we're kind of a big team.
Fantastic, fantastic. So is it safe to say that in real life, this is what you do? You make applications, you make tools, do you work in the tech environment? Is that what is happening?
Yeah, basically I was a game dev first, but I stopped to become a tester. So yeah, I'm in the IT industry.
Awesome, awesome. And just for everyone that is watching us today, we have a special guest today. The lead developer of the app that we will know more about tonight is indeed French. I'm seeing a lot of people ask in the chat, and his English is fantastic, and we're going to enjoy this conversation together. If you do have any questions, please send them his way, in English or in French. He will take both, given that he speaks both languages fantastically.
I'm actually Belgian, but that's
Oh.
almost the same.
Oh, awesome, awesome. The country of Jacques Brel.
Yeah.
That
The
is
country
awesome.
of beer and fries.
Yes, awesome, awesome, awesome. I could always get you some of those. Yep, lots of love for Belgium. Right, so I suppose we could start from the start. What is Ganymede? You have made this thing. I'm looking at it. There is a website. What is it? How did it come to be? If you could tell us in a sort of story how it was born, what circumstances led to you thinking, I need to do something else that is not just playing the game. Can you tell us more about those moments, please?
Yeah, sure. So it started because, like a lot of people, I was waiting for Unity, and I wasn't playing since I knew there were new server coming.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know what to do because I want to go to those new servers. So I was kind of waiting for a few months. So that's that's annoying. So I wonder what I would do before the launch. So I started a simple project by myself, all alone, that was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to help me once the game was out.
Mm-hmm.
The idea was to have something to guide me during the quest that I can prepare before the release. So I started it, and I shared it a little bit on Twitter, and I was not ready for the fact that everyone liked it.
Wow.
So So after that, I continued and
Mm-hmm.
I recruited a few guys, and now that's where we are. And we have something that is already working, covering a big part of the game, and that's it.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I'll tell you what, I have spoken with multiple people throughout this year that I've created content, and some of them have made tools. And I can tell you that this story is very similar in essence to pretty much most of them. They start from someone being out there facing a problem, and they usually have some technical competencies on the side, like Pynx today here is able to make tools just because that's what he does in real life. And then throughout trying to figure out how to make things easier for him, something bigger than him emerges. And you could hear
Exactly.
that in his voice. The reception was shocking. Nobody expects that their tool will be so much liked and people will love it so much. So, was that how the first few days for you were? You just posted. What did you post exactly? Was it an image? Did you post the entire app? What did you tease people with on Twitter?
The first thing I shared was on my personal Twitter. It was a small video of 4 seconds, and it
Mm-hmm.
got, I think, 200 or 300K views.
Wow, Dofus.
And it
Wow.
was it was really, really small, so only
Mm.
4 seconds. Um, it was something like what you're seeing on your screen right now. So
Mm-hmm.
just the fact that I was able to follow something, and that's it. Only that.
Wow. That is remarkable. That is
I wasn't
remarkable.
ready.
I mean, that is a good sign that it has received so much positive acclaim. And from that point onwards, did anything change to the way, or rather the vision of what it is that you were doing, from creating a tool for yourself to something for everybody else? How did you live through that transition?
Um, well, it changed a lot because, like I said, I was alone at the beginning, so I did
Mm-hmm.
what I was able to do. I'm a dev, but I don't know how to make a website. Well, uh, a website as good as what we did.
Yeah.
So, so once I recruited a few guys, well, we discussed what we really wanted. They added what they thought was better,
Mm-hmm.
and in the end, we made it way better than what it was supposed to be. In the beginning, for
Yeah.
example,
Mm-hmm.
I had to write every step of a guide on a Google Sheet and
Mm-hmm.
then export it with something that I had to manually change every time with a
Mm-hmm.
search and replace in the file.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was able to put it somewhere hidden in the files. So it was really, really hard to use.
Wow.
But now it's way easier. You just install the app. You can make, or we can make a guide on the website.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone can.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you finished it, you can instantly download it on the app. You don't have to do anything technical. So anyone can easily use it.
Fantastic. So it has become a much bigger and better tool overall.
Yeah.
But before we get into the technical aspects, and I promise everyone that we will do a live demonstration, I am a noob. I've never used anything of this nature. I have my opinion about this, and I will reiterate it at a later stage. But generally, I've not engaged with any sort of external tool aside from the ones that Gluto, who is a dev from the international pub, that makes some really nifty tools for us. I've not touched anything external. All of my sort of aid has come from Dofus pour les Noobs, like most of us. But this thing right here is sort of positioning itself as a replacement for. Would you agree with that sentence, Pynx? Like a replacement for Dofus pour les Noobs, a new alternative.
Um, Not really.
Mm.
It can be, but Dofus pour les Noobs is still really big and
Mm-hmm.
more detailed than us because sometimes you need pictures of what you have to do. Sometimes it's really big and it's hard to explain it with small sentences. So we're
Mm-hmm.
not really replacing it. But let's say we help people that have only one screen or that want to do, um, let's say, a zone of the game,
Mm-hmm.
region, or
Mm-hmm.
a specific success achievement. Sorry.
Achieve. Awesome. That's
Um,
awesome. I have a question for chat, just to engage everybody in. A lot of the work that Pynx has been doing with his team, alongside his team recently, was to try and sort of make an entire bank of data and information out there about the game that's in French into English. And he asked me this question, and I couldn't help but laugh. Why is Owaimi the desert called Owaimi? Can anybody help us elucidate this mystery? We've looked into it during one of the previous streams, and what we've gotten is, I think we have gone as far as finding one really old forum post that explained how it was Wyoming or Wyoming all upside down, which is an area of America. And then we had Americans with us in the voice chat and in the stream who said, well, Wyoming is not a desert, so I'm not sure why you think it is Wyoming. But we still haven't worked it out. Does anybody know exactly why is Wyoming called that?
Would like to know too.
Yeah, Lady Visa, I'd like to know too. Oh, why me? That is what we're thinking right now, Panzer. That is the best guess so far. I was thinking there would be a little bit more to it, like a reference to something in Star Wars or some sort of... Not really, okay. Cool. Maybe the designer appointed to name said, oh, why me? And then okay, the jokes. Decoys on the jokes. Okay. So, Pynx, the mystery remains. The best guess that we have is, oh,
We will never
why?
know.
Why me? I'll tell you what, that is a really good one to add to ask the team if we ever get to speak with them again. Oh, why me? Question. Why not? Fabulous. So, the question I wanted to ask you before we get started with the actual demonstration to better have a look at what it is that you've made from an experience point of view is, believe it or not, why? Why? This is such a big question that I kept being asked when I've initiated the conversation, when I posted the ad. A lot of technical people as part of the pub has asked me the question, why does this tool need to exist in the first place when we have all manners of things that help us out there? Dofus pour les noobs, this, that. Why do we need another new app that overlays our screen to help us with questing? What would your answer to that be?
There's a lot of point that I can say about that.
Of course, this is
the first
all
part
yours.
was to make guides that take a lot of different quests together, so you don't have to go from point A to point B like 10 times in a row. For example, if you take the Astrub quest, I hope it's called Astrub in English.
Yeah, it is.
If you take the Astrub quest from Dofus pour les noobs, then you will have to do first quest, then second quest, etc. And then you will do every time you will do the same map change, and you will have to do the path a lot of times. And well, you will lose a lot of time. So what we tried to do was taking all those quests together, find the best way to do them all at once, or at least as fast as possible, so you have the fastest path for that zone. So if you take the Astrup guide, I think, well, it can be improved. It can probably, I'm pretty sure. But it's really hard to have a better path to do the Astrup quest. So that's one part. We're really trying to have the best path. Second point would be that you don't need a second screen. I have 3 screens for myself, but not everyone have 2 screens or more.
Definitely, I'd love to have a third one.
So sometimes it's really hard to play Dofus, then use Alt-Tab and switch to Dofus pour les noobs, and then do it again, and etc. So a big part is that it sticks to your screen. It's always on top of everything, so you don't have to switch. Like you can see on the previous picture you were on, it's always on top of Dofus. So it's really easy to use if you only have one screen. What can I say more than that? Apart from the fact that we're improving all the paths and all the guides so you can go fast, we are also a community tool. So anyone, really anyone, there's no limit, can create his own guide and share it with all the community. It's really easy. We made a tool in the website, so you can write anything you want and share it with everyone. The only rules are that we block some URLs, so you cannot make a phishing guide. So that's it. I think that's the biggest part.
That's remarkable. Okay, if I understood it correctly, I'm just going to summarize them. The first point I called sort of efficiency. You minimize redundant movement. And I think a good example of this would be when you're doing your around the world quest, 27 Donjon, I don't know what the name of it in French, the quest line, where you have
Uh,
to do multiple dungeons and then go back, get the
yeah,
key for the next one.
tour du
Sometimes you
monde.
have to do two, yeah, that's the one. You have to do two dungeons at the same time, and you're sort of trying to say, wait for this one until you reach this stage
Yep,
to do both at the same time. Okay, okay. So you're playing to the efficiency in the way you write the guides. Okay.
that's the idea. And something that you can check related to that is the third part of the website progression that you can see on the top.
The
If
tree,
you
yeah.
click it, the idea was to divide all the objectives. I mean, when I say objectives, I mean quests. So all those quests are divided in different guides, and the
Mm-hmm.
idea is to know every time, well, any time, what you can actually do. If you log in on the website, you are able to click those to say, I did this guide,
Mm-hmm.
and then you see what guide is available. And you can also see compared to your level.
This is remarkable. Awesome. The second problem that you solve for is the one screen. A lot of players in the Dofus community only use one. I myself use two, and I feel like I need a third. But I'm also reluctant to add three because I've seen that there is such a thing as a monitor addiction. We've seen Eslix rock 5 screens. Think that he needs one more. So I would love to have a third, but not if that's going to lead to a fourth, a fifth, and a sixth.
The hard part is going one less screen. That's impossible.
Well, that is really difficult. Yeah. Oh my god, just thinking about it. Nope, nope. But it is such a good point that if you only have one screen, then you should not have to tab out of whatever it is that you're doing to go and look at the guide and then come back.
Yep. And
Cool.
also one other part, I read one of the messages that made me think about that.
Mhm.
One good part of Ganymede is also that you can use it anytime in your adventure. I mean, if you already did some quests, if you,
Oh
for
yeah.
example, already did some Dofus, you can
Mhm.
still come in the middle of it and start
Mhm.
from whenever you are, wherever you are.
I'll tell you what, that was the idea I had for the demonstration. I wanted to see how good it is for my current level of progression, so I can have a taster for what it is telling me to go and do next, if you see
Yeah,
what I mean.
it depends where you are because we
Yeah.
didn't finish everything.
Okay, 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 okay.
the
Right, okay.
the
Okay, I
biggest
see what you mean.
missing part is the 190 to 200, which is really
This
long
bit
to
right
do.
here, at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you...
To know if something
Mm.
exists or not, if you
Mm-hmm.
put your mouse on one of those circles,
Mm-hmm.
if you see guide indisponible,
The
then
red
it means
line.
that it's not written already.
Mm. And if it tells you... What does GP27 Dofus Abyssal mean?
It's actually a French thing. GP is guide principal, which means main guide, because we
Mm.
have a lot of different guide, and that's how you can see that this is the main progression. Because we have our guides, but if
Mm-hmm.
anyone want to make a sort of big guide to do everything,
Mm-hmm.
then it will have another name. That's just so
Okay.
you can see it's ours.
Fantastic. Okay, okay. Level 1 to 40, 40 to 60, 60. So it's split by level tranches, so that just visually looking at it, you can see what your level is and sort of guess what you should be doing. 1 to 150, I'm doing my Emerald,
Yep.
Crimson, Domakuro, Bandala 1, Otomai 2. This is remarkable. I love it so far. One thing that I really appreciate is good design and things that visually give you information. You don't have to read all the time or listen or watch a video. Just a good, well-designed map that tells you what it is that you need to be doing. Fantastic. I love this. And the third point that you've mentioned was community guide, because this is a community tool. I presume it is open source, so everybody could have a look at what it is made of, what is under the hood of this car. Is that true?
Yep. So the website is not open source because I think that's not something everyone does. But the
Mm-hmm.
app is actually open source. So
Mm-hmm.
if someone in the chat is from IT,
Mm-hmm.
all the code is available for anyone to look at. I also saw a message from Alan779 asking if it was bannable, and it's totally not, because we are not interfering with Dofus at all. It is absolutely not checking anything on the game. They are
Okay.
not related. Our app can work without launching Dofus.
I see Alan has jump started the next question and gone straight. I told you the English community is fantastic. They're really nice, but they're straight to the point and they will ask it if they think it. And you can see that I have not lied to you. If they have something, they will definitely ask it. And I will summarize this question right here that I have prepared on the side, which is the security question. And the security question takes two dimensions for me. When we've talked about your project, there were two elements to it. The first one is before I even put this thing on my computer, is it safe? Is Ankama going to remove my account because I've used something fishy? So the security vis-a-vis the game itself. Would you be able to expand on that and use as many tech sort of jargon and information as possible, because we have some heavy tech people in the chat that will be able to pick up what you're saying and maybe ask a follow-up question or something like that. But the first axis I'd love to hear your thoughts on is safety for the user, someone that does not know anything about IT like myself. Is this safe to install to begin with? Is it going to burn my computer? And second of all, is Ankama going to ban my accounts for using it?
So for the first part, your computer should not burn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no one reported that case for now, so we should be
Awesome.
good.
Awesome.
For the bannable part,
Mm-hmm.
Ankama knows us, so we talked with them a little bit. I cannot say what we said, but they know what
Mm-hmm.
we are doing.
Mm-hmm.
We have one member from Ankama that is helping us write those guides.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who write a lot of different guides and a big guide that is used by almost every French player. So they
Can you
know us.
spoil for us? Is it our next guest in this podcast?
I don't know. It is Schizio, which makes a really big
Yes.
guide.
That's him, yeah. I'm looking forward to the conversation because one of the many questions that I will ask you is about how do you decide this, but I'm just getting ahead of myself. Fantastic, okay. That is a good point. A trustworthy person that we know works for Ankama as a tester. Is that true?
Yep, he's a
Okay.
tester at Ankama.
Fabulous, fabulous. So you are in touch with Ankama. What can you tell us about this? We've discussed this before, and are you allowed to sort of give us more details about the people you have spoken to, the capacity in which they help you? Do you have any sort of written verbal agreement that this is fine, we'll let you do it, or is it gray area but we will close an eye on it? What sorts of vibe are you getting from Ankama?
For now, the vibe I get is that they agree on what we are doing, but they cannot really officially say that they support us or anything. They are in fact not really supporting us because they are not showing what we are doing. But they have some, let's say, requirement about what we can and what we cannot do. For
Okay.
example,
Mm-hmm.
when I started the app,
Mm-hmm.
I developed a tool like Organizer. I don't know if you use that in the English community,
Yeah. Yes.
but this tool is kind of in a gray area. It's
Yeah.
we can use it because there are some missing part in Dofus that should be there, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still not really acceptable. So we totally remove that to be clear and to follow all the rules. And the second part is that we do not touch Dofus at all. It's really important for them that we do not touch Dofus. So we don't take any information. We don't read packets. I mean,
Okay.
internet things, things that Dofus send to the server. We do not take those. We really don't interfere with Dofus.
Okay. So it's
Um,
completely separate from the game and the way it
yeah,
functions. It's just
yeah,
another
exactly.
software that is on your computer, just like the calculator app.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. And that is the security part about Ankama as well. Right. Fantastic. Okay. Um, if I can just summarize your position really quickly, you have been in touch with the company. They have not given you any sort of verbal written agreement that we could sort of show to chat today. And there are elements of your initial design that they said no, they should not be happening, like the organizer that switches screens for those of you who don't
They
know.
didn't really say no, but
Mm-hmm.
I knew that was something they didn't like. Since we do not have an agreement, they didn't say do that or remove that, but
Mm-hmm.
we did it ourselves to be clear with them that we want to follow whatever they want to ask.
Okay. Okay. And but what is there anything that they said to remove? Is there anything that they've explicitly said we don't like that you're doing this?
They didn't say that they didn't like anything, but for example, when we want to add a new feature, we ask them if it's okay or if it isn't.
Okay.
For example, we wanted to try to make something that now is useless because we have Dofus Unity. We wanted to make a tool that reads your screen and tell you how much, I don't know the English word, but in French it's reliquat in
Le
mating.
puits, the sink.
Yep, exactly. We wanted to make something that automatically calculates it. We asked them and they say no, because we have to read the screen and that's something they don't like. So we just didn't make it.
Okay. Okay, that is good. That is good. Fantastic. That would be actually whether directly or indirectly interfering with your game, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, not really, because we were going to read the screen, not the information behind, but that's still something they don't like. So we just stopped doing it.
Okay, I'm so thankful. And I saw the Pope. By the way, the Pope is Papino. That's how we call him in the international the Pap. Because it's sort of hard to pronounce his name, Papino. Once he did a sort of Ankama live, and then he said one of the things that he was a bit sad that nobody picked up on, and it was my absolute favorite things about the entire Unity change, is the sync counter, le compteur de reliquat, right next to the runes. Ah, that is luxury. That feels.
I agree.
Oh
Some
my
people
God.
don't like it, but I love it.
What? Some people don't. Can you give me names?
No. It's because they are purists. They really want the maging to be for
to
the
be
elite.
hard. Is that you, Alan? And Mess. He has outed himself. Oh, wow. Okay, I thought that was a fabulous, fabulous change that could only make maging more accessible. And perhaps that's why those people don't like it, because it will make it more accessible. Brilliant. We've mentioned open source earlier, Pynx, and just as a side question, as a complete noob, when you say open source, is it something that you have to request from yourselves to be able to check, or is it something that people who already know will be able to just go and find it? Is it perhaps your GitHub page, or?
It's exactly what you clicked.
Okay, so this is the repository where you keep everything.
Yep, exactly. We call that a repository. There you can see everything we're doing. Every bit of code we did is inside this.
Fabulous.
You can also see there was nothing for 2 months because we are changing the app for new technology, which is not ready for now, but should be available for December.
Okay.
And that will be exactly the same. We will open a new repository so anyone can see what we are doing. And you are also free to try and do something more for the app and send it to us.
Okay. Okay. That sort of I'm holding back wanting to ask that question, but I think I'm gonna fire it up. I can't help but so far feel like it is too good to be true. It is an app that is free that you, Pynx, and other people of your team, like who was it that I've spoken to? I've completely forgot. Just Goat Freezy as well. Is it Goat Freezy?
Yep. 2 of my devs are in the chat.
Fabulous. So all of you guys do this for a living and get paid for it. And you put in all of your time and effort making this fantastic, remarkable tool with open source. Everybody can just see the content. Everybody can enhance it. It's there. It's great. All this information. What is the catch? It feels too good to be true. Are you going to charge me at some point after I finish Astrub? What is the catch? Is there a catch to begin with?
We should actually do that. That's a good idea.
No, monetize it.
To be real, it will never be monetized. So it's too good to be true. We can say that because like I said before, I started doing that for myself because I just wanted that tool. I found it really useful and I made it for me. But apart from that, it's really hard to to say something more on this topic because it is good. Well, I hope so. I hope people
Mm-hmm.
like it when they use it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. We all have a good job on the side. Well, I mean, not on the side. This is on the side,
Yeah.
but we don't need money. Even if maybe later we will put something to make donations, but we don't need them. For now, we all have a job, and we do that on our free time. And I would say the biggest reason we do that is that we, well, I took for myself, but it's probably the same for a few of my devs.
Mm-hmm.
We don't play Dofus for now because we're waiting for Unity. So we have a lot of free time that we usually put in Dofus
Uh-huh.
that goes into that.
Okay. So I remember you saying you were so hyped for Unity that you've stopped completely engaging with 2.0. Is that true? Have you
Yeah,
completely stopped playing altogether?
yeah, exactly. The biggest part
Wow.
is that I'm waiting for the new servers, the
Mm.
new economy,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to start fresh from zero, but really start fresh. I did I don't know if you how you call that server in English, but Ombre. I suppose it's
Shadow.
not. Yep.
Yeah.
So they made a big event on it
Yeah.
where you
Yeah.
had to start from zero, and
Mm-hmm.
that was really great. We had no economy. We had to start completely fresh. That was
Yeah.
so fun. So yeah, that's the only event I really did.
Uh, I think this is a good time to shout out Jay, who is a streamer. I've shouted him out if anybody wants to know more about a streamer who absolutely loves that game setting. And I understand where you're coming from when I see the passion with which he plays and he runs his adventure there, where every single mistake can be fatal. But apparently it can be fun hearing you and him
It
speak
is.
about it. I don't understand it, but there it is. It exists, and Shadow has been mentioned. There you go, Jay. That is remarkable. Okay, okay. I think a lot of people will find themselves in you. I am also hyped, but not to the point of actually stopping everything and not playing at all. I do enjoy my dreams and more recently PvP. But I have lived through the phase 1 of the beta release where we all started on an equal footing from scratch in Unity as well. And we've done a little adventure with the international pub, which now is twice as big as it was. And at every point in time, we had 4 or 5 voice chats of various people doing things together. And it brought back, believe it or not, the earliest memories of the game for me. I didn't start in 2005 like you. You're an oldie, you're a veteran. I've started in about 2007, but that brought back the feel of being a noob and starting from scratch and everything being bigger than you. Every resource had value, everything was important and things like that.
That was
So
hard.
yeah. So if you are around and you fancy yourself some international friends, play the game in a different way, you're more than welcome to join. And if you do want to run the Shadow event as well from within the pub, I would be more than happy to organize that for you because there's loads of people who love the game mode and just sort of need some leadership towards that. And I'm sure Jay will provide ample in that department. Thank you so much for that. Love it. Love it. Right. So we've established that yes, it's too good to be true, but we do have a sort of verbal promise that it will never be paid as a solution. We know now that it's open source. You can use it freely. It does not read or interfere with your game files. The Ankama team, are you able to confirm that the Pope knows about this personally?
Yep, I personally
Okay.
speak with him a few times, so he knows.
Awesome. Awesome.
I can also say that he tried it.
Oh, he tried it. Oh, the Pope has tried it. Guys, could we have a Pope in chat? The Pope has tried Ganymede app. Let's go. That is
I'm not sure
awesome.
I'm allowed to say it, but he tried it.
That's it. We will believe you because it involves the Pope, and we are believers here.
The app is not really heavy. I see a question. It's not really heavy, and with the new version that's coming, it will be even lighter. So
Okay.
for now, it's using from 3 to 400 megabyte of RAM, which is quite a bit for really small computer, but should be okay for any normal computer. but in the future it should use less. I don't have the result right here, but I think it's around 1 or 200 maximum. Maybe Goat in the chat knows more from the new app, but I cannot tell right now.
Okay. So it's not power hungry when you run it. It does
No,
not
it's not.
put more strain on
And it
your...
also works on Mac. I didn't mention that.
Okay. Gemini, we are going to get into the guides in a very short while. I still had one more security question before we get into the guides themselves and what sorts of ideas you have, how do you make them, and everything in detail about the guide part. But before we get that, and just to segue into the guide parts but not dive straight into them, the security thing that we've mentioned earlier. Ganymede does not interfere with the game. It does not burn your computer as we've established because we have zero reports of that. But one thing that I wanted to double check is with the guides, when you are downloading, because you said you are loading somebody's guide onto your computer, how safe is it that you are allowing people to make little, let's call them plugins or content that I'm then downloading? Let's say Ganymede is as safe as it gets and Pynx and team are as squeaky clean as possible. But if you open it to everyone to make guides, how do you make sure that this is secure if it doesn't come from you and team?
So that part was really hard to make, but well, it was not hard to make, but it was hard to think. So what we came up with is that we divided the guides in a few categories. So there is one which is main guide, and it's we will see it in the app after that. When you want to download a guide, you have all the categories. The first one is the main guide. No one can make a main guide. We have to put it manually with the admin part of the website, so no one can do that. So first part, main guide means we did it, so that's secure.
Okay.
Second one is certified guide. So those guides are players' guide that we certified. So we manually checked that it was secure, that no shit was inside the guide.
Okay.
So that's the second category. And then we have two categories that are quite the same, which are draft and public guides. Those
Okay.
are the public made, well, they were made by anyone. As soon as they finish it, they can mark it public. So draft is when someone is writing the guide, and public is once someone finished the guide. But for those, once you click on them on the app, well, it's not there already, but it's coming. If you go there, you have a message saying those guides were not checked, so be sure of what you're using. The thing
Okay.
is, no one can really do bad thing in the guide, because the only thing you can do is write text. So the worst thing that can happen is someone writing go to Google and go to this website and click on it and open that. That's normally easy to avoid, but we how can I say that? There is only one part that could be a problem, which is the URLs, because you can add direct link to website in the guides, but we only allowed known website. So we allowed Ankama website, Dofus, Dofus pour les noobs, and Dofus DB, and that's quite it. There might be one or two more, like a website from us, for example, but that's it. So if someone puts another link to a phishing website, the step will be broken. It will write down this step, use a restricted URL, and you cannot click it. So we try to protect the players.
Fantastic. Okay, so you have thought as far as putting in place distinctions, if I understood it correctly. The first one is main guide. This is the golden standard. That's why it's called, I imagine. This is made by the team. You can see it's Ganymede that has uploaded this one. It is as safe as it gets. The team has put it in place, so the links are fine to click and everything is good. Second one is certified. These will be the heavy users that you trust, that make good guides, that produce safe guides, and that make loads of them. Public is if I started and wanted to make one myself. And in progress, which is draft. Somebody started something but not quite finished it yet. Did I
Yes,
understand that right? Okay. And as far as the
exactly.
links, if I go into... by the way, how can I make a guide right now if I wanted to start one?
First, you have to create an account on the website, so you can
Uh-huh.
click login on the top right of the
Yeah.
website. And if
Yeah.
you log in, it might be better to hide your screen and create
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And once you
an
do
account.
that...
And once you do that, you will have a new button on the top, which is My Guides, and there you can simply create a new one.
Okay. Okay. And what happens if the whole team is asleep? Is there like a... I guess what I want to ask is there an automated detection? Let's say everybody is asleep and I make a guide when nobody's around and I put
No
the
one have
links
to
to all of
do
my things, all of
no
my
one have to
socials.
do anything on the website to publish it. Actually, the app is just calling the website, asking, "Can you show me all those guides?" So we don't have
Okay.
to do anything to release the guides.
I see. So the moment I add a guide onto this website, it's automatically accessible via the app directly.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, okay. And I was asking about the security feature that you've mentioned about the links. If I go to my guides and start typing up a guide, a fictional one, and I put all fishy links in it and click submit, what will happen?
If you open the guide in the app, you will
Hmm.
just have a red text saying that you are using, well, that the guide is using an unauthorized link.
And is it still clickable? Will it allow me
No, no,
to
no,
still
no, no.
click it?
You won't be able to see the text. It will block it for you.
Okay,
The,
so the
the
end user will never have to do anything manually as far
yeah,
as not clicking something that might be fishy. Fantastic. Okay.
exactly. The only
That's
thing that
good.
could happen
Mm.
if is that once you download the guide, it's actually a file on your computer, and you
Hmm.
can go where the file is, open it, and then manually extract the link and still put it on your browser. But
Mm.
then I would say you're searching for it.
Okay. Okay. So okay, fantastic. And the other and last question I had for making guides is you've mentioned links. So it's a text format where you can
Yep.
just put text. Does it have a sort of memory where you can upload to it? Can you put a little exe file or something like that?
No, no, no. It's only text.
Only text. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So I suppose for the tech people out there, if you have an only text, then your only way of trying to scam people or hurt others would be to redirect them to a place using text. Is that true?
Yep. It's actually a
Okay.
JSON for the people who knows.
They sound okay. Fabulous, fam. Text editor you could do when you're logged in. Yes, okay. Fabulous, Freezy. Thank you very much for that. That is awesome. Awesome. I suppose we can talk about the guys right now. What am I looking at? What is this? What is
So
Dofus
if you
DBR? Ça arrache. Let's go with the most incarna stream. What am I looking at right now?
For now, it's all the guides related to the progression tree you saw before. They are all in French for now, but we
Mm-hmm.
developed something to make them English, and that's a part we'll discuss later.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so for now, I can explain that all the GP, which are the main guide,
Mm-hmm. GP1, GP2.
um, they all represent a part of the game. For example, this one is Incarnam Astrup. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
the same as English.
Mm-hmm.
And this guide is the first one. So let's say the one you begin with
Mm-hmm.
when you create a new character.
Mm-hmm.
And once you finish this one, you have your Dofus, silver Dofus. I don't know you call
Yep,
it
yep, that's the one. That's the one.
the silver Dofus. Um, so like I said before, they are all in French, but we added something on the website to automatically translate all the item, all the monsters and etc. in the guides. On your screen right now, for example, you can see the 22 step, which is
Step,
to
yeah.
kill some creatures.
Yeah.
And those are actually in French, but they are real data from Dofus. We took all the
Okay.
data from Dofus DB,
Okay.
and in the tool of the website, you cannot access it since you didn't create an account for now. But when
Mm-hmm.
you write a guide, you have
Mm-hmm.
button to add monsters, item, and quest, and also dungeons in the text of the guide.
Yeah.
which once you are on the app are
Mm-hmm.
translated to clickable links. So for example, the tofu chimérique, if you
Mm-hmm.
open the app with this guide, you can click on it and it will redirect you directly to Dofus DB, where you can where you can see all the information related to the monster, the item, or the thing you're clicking.
That's remarkable. So you can get
And
extra information on top of do this, do that, tick this box, do this.
exactly. So for
Okay.
example, if you don't know where the creature is, you can click it and it will give you all the information Dofus have about them.
Okay. Deal.
So the
Fabulous.
translation we made was to only translate those parts, because the hard part for us, if we want to translate the guide, are the fact that it's not really translatable for a French guy.
No.
Like I have no idea how you call your tofus, your pissenlit, your rose. Maybe it's crazy name like Saharash, like
Yes.
Owaimi.
You can't. Yeah.
So
You
that's why
can't
we took
guess
all
them.
the yeah we
Mm.
took all the data from DofusDB,
Mm-hmm.
which is using IDs from the game, exactly the same
Oh.
ID from the game. So
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of easy. Well, it was still big, but we were able to take all the English part and link it to the French part. So
Uh-huh.
we can, behind the scene, translate a guide, which will actually only translate all the item. So it's let's say, so we remove the hard part of translating the guides.
Okay, so the let's call them the unique identifier for items that exist in the game, like the mobs, the items, resources, quests, are all linked to Dofus DB, which takes all of its information and data from the game, so it is accurate as it gets, and then it links you to Dofus DB, which is a reliable source, and then you can just see more information about that thing itself. Is that right?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. This is awesome. It feels like if Ankama did this different things differently, then you could have just gone straight to the game files instead of having to look for an external source to get information from and link to. Is
Yeah,
that how it
exactly.
feels like for you?
Yeah. So if they made an API, we could take those directly from the game.
Straight up, yeah. That is really cool. Cool. So this is the guide part. I feel like. Do you think now is a good time? I wanted to ask you this, but now is now a good time to get the app fired up so we can sort of see what happens when you click on that little thing and how it opens up a link and things like that?
Yeah, maybe we can do that. Or maybe we can show how to create a guide. That's how you prefer.
Okay. In that case, I will move this screen to the side and keep this beautiful progression tree. Or was this the video that you shared, by the way, the one I'm showing here on my screen, the 7-second
Um,
one of you hovering
no,
on
I
top
will
of...
show you the first one I sent
Okay.
that worked. Let me find it and send you the link.
Sudo Single-Malt, email Single-Malt Dofus.
Here, I sent you the link of the first tweet I made.
Okay, let me intercept that bad boy and open it here. So this is the first tweet that had 210,000 views. Whoa.
So it's only like 3 seconds of it.
Wow, 200,000. If a video of mine did 200,000, I could retire tomorrow.
I hope it will happen to you once.
I sleep very well at night in the knowledge that it will never happen. I'm under no illusion that it will ever happen. Except...
Maybe.
Right, I have created an account. I have got my little registration, and let me see if I can... There it is, my guides. Oh! Add a guide. See, guys, I give myself a lot of hard time because I'm not good with IT, and look at that. I've managed to create an account and find the button we've been talking about, and now I'm making guides. How about that?
I
Hello and
think
welcome to the chat.
it would be really nice that you make one guide so you can directly download it in the app once you installed it.
Oh, let's call it uh to brew First, go to breeder zap. Tags. It is definitely un succès. It's an achievement. If you
So
did that,
the tags are something we will implement in the app later. The idea
is it
is that you
this
can
little bubbles?
search guide with this.
Are they these orange bubbles here?
Yep, yep.
So you can sort of say I want stuff to do with crow or whatever. Bone tab rack. Okay, okay. Succès. I want it to be public because it's done. It will be the first English.
Yeah, I saw something that I totally forgot when
Mhm.
you open the status of the guide. Actually, we can make private guides. We made that if you want to make a guide that no one should see. I mean, for example, you have your own Kama strat. You
Oh,
don't want to
okay.
share with anyone, but you still want to see it on the app to make it easier. You can make a private guide, and you will be the only one able to use it.
And have
Well,
it on
actually,
your app?
yep, you can download it. Here it's a little bit different because we didn't force the login. You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
log in on the app. So
Mm-hmm.
what we did is that you can download the file directly from the website and then put it in the app.
Okay. And you can, I suppose you could share it with people you want to see? Is that something that you
Yep,
can do?
yep, you can
Okay.
share the file directly. Just one thing you're doing, the part you are right there is the description of the guide. So here it's just to explain what your guide is doing, not really giving the steps. To add the
Okay,
first step
this...
on the guide, you have to click add a stage,
Oh, this was
and
all
there
the
you can,
description. Okay, at
yeah,
a stage, okay.
here you can unfold it, and there you have
Select.
everything. So this part, the map, is we implemented the same map as Dofus in the app, and the idea is that you can put any of the available map in the game. I think World of 12 would be the best since
All
it's
of them. Hmm.
all of them. Well, it's the main map that everyone knows. I say you put Infinite Dreams, it's the only one that is actually bugged.
But I'm
It,
used to it.
it's
Dreams
not
are
working
always
because
bugged.
it's different. It's a different map than the other, so
I
it's
see,
not
I see.
working
I'm
like on the
trying to
others.
break it now. Keep in mind that I'm trying to break the app to see how it works. Right, or hit him up. I'm putting a fishy link here. Go to 00. And let's say Single-Malt is the resource. You have to trade the resource. Quest, gear,
Yeah, the
guide, dungeon,
resources are
mass.
in the objects.
Objects? Okay. So,
Objects
malt.
is every item of the game. It's quest item, equipment, weapons. Everything is there.
Okay. And I'm done with it. I want to save it.
Yep. Here you can save it. Now
Boom.
it's
Oh,
saved,
it's... Mm-hmm.
and it's done. You finish your guide.
This
It's already
first guide
available.
made in English is in the Well of Dreams and how to make your own whiskey. Then you go to the Breeders app. Oh, and it lets me use the link. Or is that
Yeah,
because I'm the editor?
on the website, on the editor, you can,
Okay.
but on the app you cannot.
Right. So if I go to guides list and look for English, presumably there'd only be one. It's not here. Why is it not
That's
there?
probably a bug.
Oh
No,
no!
no, no, no. The guide is in English.
Oh, it's
That's
in
another
French.
bug. We have to put the guide directly in English if you put the website in English. That's something we didn't do. So here you can change the language, and now
Oh.
it should show up. I hope.
Guides list. English. Oh!
Yeah, perfect.
Guys,
The
download
first
this
one.
one in particular. You're going to be rich. Is this view side or is this me being an editor?
That's the part everyone can see. If you
This
want to edit
everybody can
it,
see.
there's a small crayon button, green button on
Up
the top,
there. Okay.
and there
I'm
you enter
just
the edit
sort
code.
of wondering why is it showing the link here?
That's a good question. I think that's a part we didn't protect on the website, maybe.
Ah, okay.
That's
That's
some
good.
work for Goat.
Yeah. Goat. Fix all of them except my links. The ones I put, please keep them in there. Okay. So I see how you can create a guide, how everybody can create the guide. I feel like now is the time to see what the download process is from the point of
Yep.
view of a total noob and see what kind of problems people might encounter and how to get over them.
I
So,
hope everything will go fine.
you know how it is with live demonstrations, they
It
always go
won't.
wrong. Always go wrong. Is this true? 5,300 people have downloaded the app?
Yeah, it's a single download. It means that if you download the app twice, it
Yeah?
won't go. It will only go up once.
Okay. Okay.
We check your
And
IP when you download, so normally it's real downloads.
okay. Can I just say very quickly, the layout of the website, whoever made the website, is on point. It's fantastic. The color schemes, everything flows so well. It feels really nicely made. And I do recognize this lineup right here. Skizio is one of three guests that we are having on the podcast on the 5th. It's already up and running on the announcement page. If you haven't seen it yet, the poster is up with time and date. We're having Ugolas, Skizio, and Ongom for a fantastic conversation about content creation and the game itself. And here we have a good lineup. Fareo is the author of Ibu, isn't he? The guy who made.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
fantastic tool that we use a lot at the pub to
He's
get.
also working with Dofus DB.
Oh, is he? Okay, makes sense. Makes sense.
Or he was. I'm not sure, but he worked
Fantastic.
with them at one point.
Cool. I suppose the first step to downloading the app is clicking download, and you can already see for people who've asked the question before. You can already see. Let me put the link down here for people to see it. You can already see that you can download it in Mac or Windows.
Yep. In the future, we will be able to download it also on Linux, but it will be with the new version.
For the 5 people that have Linux. Did you see the
Yeah.
stats, Pynx, of the last Come Alive? When
No,
they
I don't
talked about.
remember them, but I know they exist, but they're
Yeah,
really not that much.
yeah. There's 0.5% of the total player base that plays in. That uses Linux.
But they exist. Someone asked us if it was available.
Wow.
We had to say no, sorry, to the only
Ah, yeah,
person
yeah, yeah,
asking.
yeah. Yeah.
So
Right,
I hope
Unity
everything will go
package.
fine. Maybe your antivirus
Ooh.
will say that it's not fine. For anyone that wonders why, we actually have to pay a lot if we want to get rid of that part. Normally, if you
A
make
license.
any kind of application of software,
Hmm.
if you want to make it work for anyone without having this trigger warning, you have to pay a kind of I'm not really sure how
A
it works
license
exactly
fee?
because yeah, it's a kind of license fee which costs really a lot,
Yeah.
and we didn't find a way to make it work without paying, and that's close to 1,000. And I'm not even sure it's 1,000 once. It might be 1,000 every year or something.
Ah, to Microsoft.
Yeah, it's not really Microsoft. It's I think it's private security companies that allow you and give you the key to make it work. That's a part
Okay.
I don't know by heart because we didn't manage to make it work without that. But that's from what I know. It's like that.
Okay. I mean, I'm here. Something has happened. I've downloaded something. It looks to be working. I went straight to the settings.
There's
And
one thing that we have to change. If you change the language, you actually have to restart the app.
close it and restart it. Okay. Cool.
We never really used it in English, so that will be the first time. Let's hope everything
Okay,
works fine.
welcome to Ganymede. This tool is designed to assist you throughout your adventure on Dofus. You can create, use, and share guides to help you optimize your adventure. Create your guides via the official site and download these Those of others. Fantastic. And it's telling me the almanacs for the day?
Yep.
And
And
does
you
this
can
send
actually,
to...
you can even click on the level 200 to change it, so you know the exact reward you will have.
That is really cool. That is really cool. The XP changed. That's remarkable. And these three links send to your sort of social
Yep,
networks if you need some help with the app, if you found a bug or something like that.
exactly.
Okay, okay. The settings allow you to manage the opacity, the size of the whole overlay. Um,
And also
what
the
is
profile.
profiles?
The profiles are used if you have more than one character. So you can, for example, you have a team,
Oh,
you will make a profile for that team because we save your progression in the guides. So
okay.
if you have two different character, you can make one profile for the first one and another one for the second one.
And you can presumably switch between them?
Yep, you click the small arrow next to it,
And
and
boom.
then you are on the profile.
Fabulous. That's really good. Thank you very much, Snad, for the resub. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, my friend. So far, I'm noticing a little tool, the likes of which Gluto could have made. It looks like it was made with Unity as well, right?
It is.
Okay. It's an overlay, so technically you can't click behind it. So if I put it on top of the zap, then I can't interact with the zap.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. And you can lock it in place. Does
We
that mean you
designed
can
it so
click
it's
behind it if you lock
no,
it?
you cannot. We designed it so you can actually put it on the left or the right on of the screen without blocking the map change.
Of
It's
course.
small enough so you can still change map.
Yeah. And you can, as you've seen, adjust the size and everything there is to it. Fabulous. Main menu, guides, download, my notes, autopilot.
We have
And it...
two feature apart from the guide that we
Mhm.
added in the beginning and that we still kept because they are useful. So the autopilot one is to save your the let's say the place you want to go a lot of time. You can write the position of a zap and the name of it, then click plus, and if you click the small icon, it automatically copy in your
Oh,
chat.
slash
Well,
travel. Let's
yeah,
go.
so you can
That is cool.
fastly go there.
Plus, and then you add a home. I don't know,
For
3, and then
example,
you can
if
add it.
there's a mine you like to go every day, then you
Oh,
can
this
write
is...
it down and it's easy to use it so you don't have to open the map and find it. That's not the most useful tool, but I like it and some people do too, so we kept it in.
That is remarkable. So I could save my bank. I could save... If you do a little circuit of mines, if you're farming nodes, then you can just save them all. Mine 1, mine 2,
Exactly.
mine 3, node 4, node 5. And then you can just literally copy, paste, and then off you
Whatever
go
you like
on repeat.
works.
Okay, this will be even better with Unity because everybody has access to the GPS. So this feature will become
Yep.
even more relevant.
The second one was
Oh, I saw that persona. Get out of my head.
sorry.
Carry
So,
on, carry on, please. So,
uh,
we were talking about the autopilot feature, or were you going to move to something else?
yep, I was moving to my notes. It's another feature we added that lets you take notes. Some people asked us to add this because you always have to write down things about what you're doing or what you want to do or anything related to Dofus, and you want to keep them. And a lot of people just open a real note from Windows, and that makes it easier so you can write it down and keep it for later. Another really nice use of those notes is to copy message that you use a lot in the game. For example, you sell a lot of wood. You
Yeah.
can create a message, use /p I sell my wood, and then you have the copy message, the copy button, sorry, so you can directly copy it and write it down in the chat. Some people sells a lot of thing every day, and and they want to keep their messages. So that's the main use of it. But you can also use it for anything you want to note.
This is great. You can sort of... I see what you've done. You've taken the notes file, the notes app that everybody has on their computer, and you've put it right here.
Yep.
I would love to take... Rex has contacted. Okay, so the My Notes feature does that. The autopilot you could sort of... and does this change when you change profiles? If I come back
That's a
here
good
and go
question.
to the different
I think
account.
it doesn't. I think it only changed the...
Okay.
Yeah, it only works for the guide steps.
This is app for the entire app, and it is not related to characters. So if you have different circuits on different others, then it's on you to label them correctly. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That is good. That's fantastic. I like that. Autopilot. Note. What is downloads? Is this...
So here you have access to all the different guides. You can search for them because there's a lot of them. And that's why we show them on the website with the progression tree, because it's actually kind of hard to find them. We are working on the tag system to make it easier to find what you want. But for now, let's maybe find your guide.
I found it!
You can wait a second, and once it disappears, it means it was downloaded. Because if you download a guide, well, if you already downloaded a guide, it doesn't show anymore in the
list.
downloadable. Yep.
You have it. What does this mean, the little check mark? Does that mean it's certified by Dofus DB? They've checked it and they're okay with it? It's true?
No, this means you finished it. But since you only have one step, it says that you are at the last step. That's what it means.
Oh, first go to the Breeders app. I'm here. Trade Single-Malt. I'm here. Gives you a small loan of $5 billion. I can't click it. I can't click it. This is cool. Security works. Well done.
Normally it should show.
Should be red.
Yeah, it should show a trigger message instead of the link. So that's a problem. So
that is a problem.
That's working, but not as intended.
At least it's not letting me copy it.
I'm not sure. I have to try something.
Maybe the Twitch. Maybe Twitch is whitelisted, as Goat has said. I'll tell you what.
It might be the thing. I have to ask one of my dev. I'm not sure it was whitelisted.
Are you sure? Okay, let me just do this and say.
I'm checking because I'm afraid we made a mistake and removed that security part, which I hope we didn't.
Single-Malt. I'm just putting my OnlyFans
I want to see that website.
And
so if you save it, now you can go back and
refresh.
You should yeah, exactly.
The little exclamation mark that tells you there's an update. That is really cool.
So it has changed. We have a problem there.
Okay.
To open a link, it's actually control click, not just click, because clicking something will.
But this is my OnlyFans. It sent me straight. Okay.
Using control click will take you to the link. For example, if you click the Single-Malt, it will take you to Dofus DB.
Oh, that is good.
And
I like that.
If you only click without control, then you will copy the name of the resource, so you can search it in the auction house.
Wow. Okay. So clicking anything is copy. Shift click will send you. What is? It is whitelisted. God damn it! Jay has already opened the hood. He is rummaging around.
Yeah,
these are the whitelisted. That's why Twitch is letting me. Okay. And but I've noticed something. Despite having changed it, it has visually changed, but it still sends to the same old one.
Behind the scene, it's I don't know the format we use. Goat can say it in the chat, but we use a format that is not. You don't really see what is behind. So you have some balise, which I don't know how to call in English.
Mm-hmm.
But you have hidden thing to make links, to make item, to make pictures. And the thing here is that you first made a link that
Yeah.
worked, and then you
Mm-hmm.
renamed it. You didn't really change the link, you just renamed it. So you will see OnlyFans, but behind the scene,
Ah,
it's still Twitch. So
it's
you have
still
to,
the old link.
yep, you have to select it, remove the link with one of the button we made before. So you can select that part, and you
Uh-huh.
will see there's a cross. Yep, there. Here you will actually remove the link. And now you can still click the link and add a link on it, because this is not directly a link, it's only text. It's a little bit tricky, but there you can enter any URL you want and it will take you to the
Okay.
website. So
So I
normally if you
could
really add OnlyFans, it should block it now.
hit him up on his OnlyFans, and then you can pick a text and sort of turn it into a hyperlink.
Yep. And normally
Hyperize.
this should be blocked.
Ah. Okay, so let's see. It's so quick. It updates very quickly. Lien
Yep.
suspect. Stop it there. Ah, this
Which
is
is not
good.
translated. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm relieved that it's actually working.
it
I was
works. It
afraid for a
works.
minute.
I have tried to break it, but sadly for you guys, you will not be able to access my OnlyFans because it's blacklisted. That's awesome. That is really good. Cool. So we said the download page is where you go and look, and here I really like that it gives you the option to choose the quality of the guides that you want. The cachet. You want the main guides, you want certified guide. If you don't find something here, I imagine you can go back and look for the other ones as well, right?
Yep.
And public
But
guides next.
no guide is called whiskey actually.
Sad. Very sad. Because I've downloaded the only one. Let's go.
So those are
Rush.
made by people. So it's anything. I don't know what is inside those.
Okay. Super, Catmer.
We
Let's
sometimes check a
pick
few of those guides. Normally there's nothing wrong, and if there is,
test.
like you saw, it should be blocked.
Rush. And as you said, there is absolutely no world in which downloading a guide will harm your computer or your accounts or anything like that, because they're all
No,
just text files.
exactly. It's only text that the app is reading. So even if someone was able to make something, I don't know how, the app would block it. Well, I mean, it wouldn't work on the app. It could work if you go directly to the file and check it, but it's hidden for someone that is not
Okay.
really IT.
So most people will not have the knowledge to go and fish for that file and actively harm
Exactly.
themselves. And if they knew enough, then they wouldn't click on it.
Exactly.
Or okay. Principe d'archi, on marque
So
sur les œufs.
that's a guide someone made. I have no
Mhm.
idea what is inside.
But I can click it and it opens the links to the quests. And when you see
Yep.
something pink, it's quest. This is an achievement or dungeon, I imagine. Yeah,
Exactly.
dungeon.
And now we are working on something for your community, for the English community. The fact that if the app is in English and you click one of the items, it should open normally
English
the
one.
English
Yeah,
website.
yeah.
But since you open the French guide, normally
It will
it
be
takes you to the
French.
French website.
Ah, okay. Okay. Quick question. I have seen the ability to refresh, but what is the JSON file? What is this all about?
So if you click I suppose you click the button, the window
Yeah.
button, it opens the folder where the guides are stored. So
Oh,
there,
in my
the JSON,
computer itself.
yep, exactly, because
So
it's hard to find.
okay. Mm,
So those files are actually the guide. So if you see
okay.
the 394, it's actually the one you made. You can see the ID on the app,
Aha.
394. So that's how we call the file.
ID
And if you want to
394.
open it, you can totally do it, but it's only text that is hard to understand if you're not tech.
Uh-huh.
But you can show one so people see
This
there's
is what it
no.
looks like. I've opened a JSON file named 394 following my guide, and it looks like it contains everything that I've put in there, but in the language that will show it in this format right here, right?
Exactly.
Okay. That's good. That's remarkable. Fab. Guides, main menu. The almanacs, you said you can change this.
Yep.
What am I missing? What I've opened the app, it seamlessly flowed. It's all right. I was able to download the guide that I had in mind. So far, I like what I'm seeing, but how can it be useful towards creating movement? I want to progress in what I'm doing. How does this
So
help me move forward, navigate, update stuff, and pick what to do next?
the first thing you should do now is go to the website, to the progression tree,
Yeah.
and right there, since you are now logged in, you can click on one of the bubble, which will say that you finished the guide. So for example, here, all the black one are the one that you cannot access because
You haven't
they
done
have
them yet?
requirement.
Ah,
And
prereqs. Okay.
yeah, so if they are black, it means that you cannot do them because you have to do the one before it. So let's say you finished Incarnam and Astrub, which is the first guide. You can click it. So you can click the silver one, and now you see that you can do Mais où sont les Dofus? I don't know the
Yeah,
English
yeah,
one,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's the prerequisite for the Dofus, where you go see well, I suppose she's called Meriana
Yeah.
also in English.
Same.
And here, so if you put your mouse, let's say on Mais où sont les Dofus, and I think it's right click it, then it takes you to the guide, so you know exactly what is in the guide. So let's say you are at that guide. Now you can go on the app in the download section
GP2.
and
On
search
the app.
for GP2.
Main guide, or is it in
It's in the download part,
downloads, main guide,
and here
and
you
look
have all
for
the GP. So exactly like that, or you can search
GP2.
the name of it and download it.
Ok, Dofus et plus. Doom. Download. Just quick question, Pynx. Or how is, because I've created an account, but I've downloaded the app and I did not have to authenticate. So how is this little app on my computer and this account right here on the website communicate? Or does this not update automatically?
They are not. We didn't want to force people to log in. We want people to be able to use it totally without logging in if they don't want to, for
Yeah, yeah,
any
yeah.
reason. Maybe you don't trust the website or you don't want to
Of
put
course.
the
Yeah.
same password that you use everywhere.
Yeah.
For any reason, if you don't want to create an account, you don't have to. You will just not be able to use the progression tree because it's saved on your profile. So you cannot. So on the app, there's no login. The thing we are using to save your progression is totally in the app itself, which is the the step progression you are in. Let's say you open the guide you downloaded before, the second
Yeah.
one. If you go to the
Guide.
guide it's directly in GP. If you
Yeah.
open it, you can see
Boom.
that you are at the first step out of 200.
Yeah.
If you just move a few steps, let's say you play for half an hour and you are at the 15th step, then
Yeah.
you can go out of the guide. You can also close the app if you want, and if you come back, then you will still be on the step 15. That's what we say, so you know.
That is insanely good, actually. That is really
Because
cool.
when there are a lot of steps, if
So
you
if you come
have
back
to
in a few
restart every
months,
time.
you don't even need to look at your. This is useless.
Yeah,
All you have
that's
to do
that's the
is.
idea.
Wow. So you go back to your guides. Where did I leave off? I have
It was
gotten my
it was
5
in
billion
GP.
loan. I've got this one done. And now I was here. Where was I in this? Step 15 out of 212. This is remarkable. This is good. I was speaking with the Astro yesterday, who is an English streamer yesterday. He hasn't played in a few months. He's not feeling great about the game recently and this and this and that. So he has stopped. And I've sort of piqued his curiosity by talking about the Sylvan Dofus, Sylvestre. And I said, where are you at with it? And he had to open his achievement tab and try and work it out here. And my god, is it a headache when you try and figure out where your progress is or where you stopped last time and things like that. It is incredibly tedious.
Especially for that Dofus, which is the hardest one.
Yeah, big up. I'm sort of getting ahead of myself by asking this question. I've planned it for later on, but how hard would it be for Ankama to just make this in the game? just make their achievement tab what Ganymede is, how hard would it be for them to do that?
Um, uh, it would be really hard because we're not simply giving you the quest and saying you should do this quest. We are really merging the quest together to make one perfect path. So
Mm.
let's say they should not and they won't do it because not everyone want to have the easy way. Some people want to explore, to do them by themselves, to read the
Yeah.
quest. This is more for someone that already knows the game or someone that just don't care about the lore, the story of the game. But if you like the game and if you want to explore by yourself, it's not really for you. It's really made to go fast and almost skip them by not thinking.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. I'm looking at the time right now, and I think we should take a very quick break because we've done a lot of talking and we don't want to exhaust you. And shall we say three? Shall we say 5 minutes so we can catch our breaths, refill our glasses? We'll have a quick bite of something to eat because I have mismanaged my time as usual. And we reconvene in 5 minutes. And this is for you, Pynx, as well, and team. Every podcast episode I've ever done, there's usually through the halfway point a question, a difficult question that I ask, and it's usually the central question that I've prepared after doing research. And from that point onwards, we will continue the demonstration, continue to see how I can take my progress from the game and put it in there and see how it flows and how easy it is to follow the guide. And then we can give you a platform later on for you to advertise and see what chat thinks and how we can sort of formulate a collaborative effort on the back of this if there's anybody that wants to take you up on the offer. What does that sound like?
Perfect for me. I need
Fab.
water, so
Awesome. Hello, welcome back, welcome back. How are we feeling generally about it so far? Do you feel like we've done a good job? Have we asked the right questions?
yep, exactly. I think we explained Ganymede good enough so people understand what it is.
Before I jump onto my unique question, is there anything that you feel like we have not covered and you'd love us to get that out of the way before?
No, I think we did a great job, so
Fab.
I'm ready for the
Perfect.
question.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Every single podcast, I sort of start it with a light and airy air to set the mood, get the nerves out of the way. We get to the meat of the topic, and then usually the crescendo, the moment of the peak, if we can call it like that, of the nerves, anxiety, however you want to call it. The peak build up is around the midway point where I ask the question that is dear to me, regardless of what chat thinks or anything like that. When I do research, I sort of learn more about things and I usually boil it down to one question, and from that point onwards, it's all good. We'll carry on the conversation, and the worst is behind us, if we can put it in those terms. So, Pynx and team, you have answered every question we've had so far about the technical aspect, about how the app works, about the problems it fixes, about how good visually it is, how easy it is to update it, how you can create guide, all the things you've thought about that we didn't necessarily consider, like the security aspects with links and things like that. You've even gone as far as contacting the team and getting in touch, getting them to try it and getting their sort of okay to a certain extent. I want to tell you a story, and it's a very short one. I played in 2007, as I told you, and I was so much of a noob that I keep telling the story again and again in chat and people laugh about it. I did not know how the game worked, and I remember putting wisdom points when I level up because I wanted my character to be a bit wise and a little bit in intelligence, so it can be intelligent, and a bit of agility, so that it's agile. So tools and things like that that support gameplay are super useful, and I do understand that, and there is no question about it. My question really to you, Pynx, and team, is you have mentioned that this is a guide. The first point is the efficiency point. You boil down the project to three main axes, if we can call them that. The first one was efficiency. You want to minimize redundancy by telling us, instead of doing this journey twice, why don't you just wait a few more moments until you speak to that person or start that quest and then do all of them together? I love this way of thinking. It's efficient. I love it. It works well. It delivers results. My question to you, Pinks, is through my entire journey of playing this game, when I returned to it more seriously and I knew what I'm doing, I'm not adding points because I want my character to be clever, thinking that that's what I'm doing. The way I've played when I've returned is fully immersing myself in the game and seeing whatever calls upon me. I've let the game tell me what to do in it. I followed the main quest lines, and through doing that, I've discovered breeding. And I've took to it, I enjoyed it, and I've done it for about 6 months non-stop. And then I progressed, and I've done my quest Turk, and then I've done my Ochre, I loved the grind, and then I've done Volbis. And I discovered dreams, and I've not left the Well of Dreams ever since. My question to you, Pinks and team, is do you not think these tools, while they're trying to solve for a big problem that we have of what to do next and how to do it, do you not feel like you are robbing players from the discoverability, the vast things that are out there for them to discover? Are you not telling them how to play and possibly robbing them of the enjoyment of meeting something they might like, but that you wouldn't necessarily put in your guide?
Sorry, I wasn't. I didn't think you were done with the
Oh, that
question.
was it. That was the end of the question. The central thing of it, without all the build-up, is making a guide that is efficient is good, but don't you think you're taking the enjoyment of the game from the people playing it by telling them how to and making them do things they might not like, or telling them not to do things that they might like?
Yeah, actually, I totally agree with how you think. The the idea is that we are not made for new players because when you start a game, you want to discover, you want to do things by yourself and find out how the thing works. That's also the good part of a video game, discovering the world, the lore, anything that you like in a video game.
Mm-hmm.
So the first answer would be that it focuses more on people that already knows the game and
Mm-hmm.
want to go fast. So if you already made all the quests, you finished everything, you have all your Dofuses, and you start fresh. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to read them and discover them again because you already know them. For example, if you make a few different teams and you restart them every time to make a lot of turquoise Dofus. I don't know if it's called
Mm-hmm.
turquoise, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe you want to go fast the second time. So that's more the profile we aim. But
Okay.
also in the world we are right now, people don't want to explore as much as before. I remember when I was a kid, I wanted to explore everything. I was searching anything and I was having fun by myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I know people now want everything now and then. Like, I mean, exactly right now, directly without waiting. And that's also a second target of Ganymede. If you want to go fast and not think about what you actually are doing, but you want to achieve things, then it works well for you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really not designed for new players. If you're a new player, I really don't actually advise Ganymede. Would say
Okay.
discover the game by yourself.
Fair enough. You know your target. You've not made this for people who are starting the game. It's more designed as a tool to speedrun the game, if you want to say that.
Exactly, and also to be able to do it without really watching. Uh, since I'm playing since almost 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of Dofus, and I don't want to read them again, and I don't want to think again about how to go there, how to do this, how to do that. And I just know I have to do them, and that's like an achievement before doing what I want, before having
Mm.
the stuff I need, the gear. So a good thing with Ganymede is that we are trying to write the guides as easy as possible, so you can watch Netflix, for example, at the same time, and in a way that you don't really have to think. For example, when I was using Dofus pour les noobs, it was, well, you can do something different while you're doing your quest with Dofus pour les noobs, but the problem is that it gives you a lot of information to understand what you are doing. It also gives you the lore about what you are doing, which some people really like, and that's totally fine. But if you want to go fast and not think and do something else because it's too annoying for you, it's exactly what you want. So the first and second guide, and a few of the first guide actually, were written a different way. We improved a little bit during the evolution of the app, let's say. At first, I was alone writing guides. Then two guys joined me. And if you want to see a completely correctly written guide, you can try to download Sarach 2, which is the last one I made. And we decided a way of writing guides. Yep, exactly this one. And this is the best we decided for now. Yep, you have to go into the guides in GP and there. For example, we start with all the prerequisite for a guide. So you know everything you have to buy in the auction house before starting. So here, for example, you need a complete gear with a 6,000 initiative and
Yeah.
all the items. And once you have all those, you can check them to know that you made them. And by the way, the checkboxes are saved. And then you can start the guide. And every time you are on a new step, you see every objective divided in new paragraph. I don't know how to say that in English again.
Yeah, yeah.
And in the end,
Separate section.
you always have the next position you have to go to and
Here.
how to go there fast. Yep, you saw it there. That's the position of the actual step. And then at the end, you see next, go to 14 minus 60 and how to go there fast. 2 map on the top, 1 map on the right.
Ooh, okay.
And another thing I didn't say, if you click 15 minus 64, you copy the position in your clipboard.
Nice. The slash travel command as we've established.
Yep.
Is there a format where it recognizes, the app recognizes if you put anything between brackets and a comma in between, then that is slash travel. If you click it, it copies.
That's how it works. If you put brackets,
Fabulous.
something, comma, something, then it's you can copy it.
Fabulous. Honestly, thank you so much for the answer. It pretty much hits it on the head. I did have a little bit of a follow-up, which brings me back to something that we've mentioned earlier of it being too good to be true. Can you please tell us how much we're gonna have to pay at some point? Because this is too good. You're spending some real time that you could be just enjoying the game yourself. You could be making something that makes you money, adding hours at work, spending quality time with your family and friends. How can we count on this being free when it is good?
I'm waiting for you to be addicted, and once everyone is addicted, that's where
I
we will
knew
ask
it.
big
I
bucks.
knew it, Pynx. I could see you coming. Thank you so
No,
much
for
for
real.
that.
Like I said before, no one in the team actually need money. We probably will give the opportunity to people to make donations if they want, but we don't really need them. Well, we don't need them at all. And if we do that one day, I mean, if we put a donation somewhere, the fact that you can donate to us somewhere, it won't really be for us. It will be to pay the fees for the website. I
Yeah.
actually pay around 15 euros a month, which is, well, nothing. I mean, well, it's something for a lot of people, but with the decent job I have, it's totally correct and it's not a
And
problem
you're
to pay.
happy to take on this cost
Yep.
indefinitely?
The worst that can happen is maybe one day I won't be able. A lot of things can happen, and if
Mm-hmm.
that happen one day, we will tell it to people. We will say we are not able to pay it anymore, and
Mm.
we need donations. But if this day come, we will say it to everyone. And even
Fabulous.
if people are not able to give us if we need,
Mm-hmm.
which, like I said before, should not happen,
Mm-hmm.
everything is available for free, and everything is available on GitHub. It's open source, so anyone can download anything, and all the guides available on the website can be downloaded and put back in. And we can even, let's say, give the website, if you really want to stop the project one day, we could give everything.
Okay,
So
that is
we
reassuring.
to to summarize, we will never ask money to anyone.
Fabulous. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Prey, Goat, and you yourself, Pynx, for being awesome. This sounds too
Thanks.
good to be true. It is. And I sincerely hope that it continues for a long, long time to come. I had a little bit of a sidetrack question that is linked to this, and I feel like I should just get it out of the way. So feel free to not expand on this as long as you have done for all the previous ones. But do you foresee a future in which niches start to emerge? We're already in a niche game and playing a game that very few people know, and you're catering to a small niche within that bigger one. So people who have already done the game, who are trying to speedrun, like Lady Misai started a new Osotopia. She just wants to get through it. She downloads the stuff, click, 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 click. It's all good. She knows the game. She doesn't want to discover. Do you not foresee a future in which I have to download another app if I'm a beginner? The equivalent of Ganymede, somebody that just takes your open source and makes something more adapted to others, and then somebody else thinks of the same thing and makes another app adapted for a different niche, and we end up with 17 or 20 choices. Is that a reality that you can see? Is that a possibility?
Maybe one day people will make other different app. I don't know how it will work in the future, but first we're trying to make it work for anyone, so it's not needed to have
Mm-hmm.
a lot of different application.
Mm-hmm.
But if anyone want to make another app that will cover what we are not doing,
Mm-hmm.
well, for me there is no problem. The only thing is, like you said, um, not everyone want to install a lot of different apps. So
Mm-hmm.
so well, if a lot of people make a lot of app, we will have a problem in the future. And but it's I don't really see it like a big problem because, for example, there's a ton of different websites explaining you how to do the quest, and the only one that will really work is the best one. So if it's our app, it's fine for us, and we are happy.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not, we will still be happy because we are actually making it for us first. So if someone comes with a better solution, we will actually be happy to use it because
Okay.
that's the main goal in the beginning.
Yeah.
So if someone shows and say you're doing shit, look at mine, it's way better, and that I agree,
Uh-huh.
nice. It's good for me. I don't have to work anymore on it, and I have a better solution.
Okay.
But
That is remarkable. Okay. Just as a side question, why does this say beginner? What is
uh,
happening here?
the other one, and so the left one, this one was the sorry, I was watching the stream and not your
Uh-huh.
direct stream. So this one you were on actually is the previous one. We made one based on the first version we thought of,
Uh-huh.
and we talked with Schizio, which didn't really like this graph, so we thought about a new one with him. And the second one, so the default one now, is a more readable one.
Okay. I
But
see the Skizzy
we
touch
still
here.
kept it. So yeah, the in the beginning we just started with his guide. I asked him if it was a problem for him to clearly copy it, and he was okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
So the two first guide, for example, are exactly what he says in his guide, and
Okay.
then we we divided in zones and region and objectives. But the first two guides are really his
Skeezio's
guide.
guide. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's remarkable. I think you'll be pleased to hear that. And shout out to Istos from the International Pub, a remarkable Frenchman who sees himself more in the international community than the French one, has taken it upon himself to translate Skeezio's guide, because I found it myself and himself shocking that the name Skizio is not commonplace. It's not a household name like it is in France when you play this game. And we thought we should do something about it. His contribution was to translate it, and my contribution was to bring the man himself and ask him questions and make everybody aware of his existence and see how we can support him as well if we're able to do so. But his guide is being translated, and I will shoot you his name in private message. If you at him at the International Pub, he might be able to just start a little conversation with him, and maybe he can send you the translation effort he's done in English, and there's your GP1 and GP2 already sorted, so to speak, whenever he is done with them.
Okay.
Cool. Cool. That is great. Everything so far is fantastic. I'm having a good time. Have you had a good time so far? We haven't even gotten to the last bit, but you're having a good time.
The English community is really nice compared to the
awesome.
French one I'm used
Do you
to.
know who said that actually? It was the Pope and Manaya. After the podcast episode we've done, they were like, wow, we're so impressed by how cool you guys are. Nobody called them names.
The French community is, wow. They are never happy of anything. They always dislike everything.
Same, we are unhappy with everything, but we just use better words to vocalize it. Awesome. I think, guys, I want to mark a 2-minute break and just look at chat right here. And I'm speaking to you guys. What are you taking from this? Do you have any questions? Do you feel like I've not asked a question that is burning in the back of your mind? And I'm thinking particularly... I'm thinking about Jay. Do you have any sort of technical question? Because you've looked under the hood. Gluto, did I do it justice? Did I ask the main question that was burning in everybody's mind? The one about why do we need this to begin with? Does anybody have any sort of question that they think or feel ought to be asked before we move on to the next segment where we discuss a different topic altogether? Stretch goals. Why stretch goals? French community is a little intense. You can say that again, Lady Misai. This guide I haven't. Why would I use this over Dofus guide? I haven't used either, but they seem similar. What is Dofus guide? Is that the Magem app?
Yeah, it is. I can explain a little bit about this question.
Ah, yes, that is the Magem app. Yeah, I don't know it by name for some reason.
His app was made almost at the same time as ours. We started almost at the same time, and we talked a little bit in the beginning. We are actually making something different. His app does a lot of different features. He's trying to add a lot of good features for gear, for your jobs, for organizer, for example, is adding it, even though it's gray zone, but that's a good thing. So he's making a lot of different features, and the guide he's making is actually his own guide, which I'm not sure because I didn't read it in details, but it's more of a start to finish game. So you start as a new player, what you should do in an order, and then you are level 200 with your Dofuses. On our side, it's more, you can do this zone, this zone, this zone, and we don't really force an order. There is an order that is forced by the game. I mean, you cannot do a quest if you didn't do this one first, but you can do them in the order you want, and that's what we are making. And also the fact that we let people make guide easily. That's the difference.
Okay. So that clarifies the answer about the difference between the two apps.
That's
because
what
they
I
look remarkably similar. This is just a question I had myself, and yeah, that's exactly what you're saying, Gluto. That's what I was thinking. I've asked you it earlier, but I want to dive more into it, but from a different angle. If Ankama decided to make this entire this entire thing that you're working on as a feature inside of their game, let's say they don't do that. They go halfway and they say, "Here's an API, you can all sort of use it." Would you change the way you're doing things? What would
Yeah.
that mean for you if you had the API access and you were whitelisted
Um,
to use it?
I will first deceive you by saying that it won't happen or it won't in the few years
Oh,
coming. I
oh
already know that.
no.
Well,
We've asked the
everyone
Pope
hopes.
himself, and he said that it's not something that they're working on at all. It sounds
Yeah,
like
they're
it's
not working
expensive
on
and
it.
hard to put in place safely.
I don't have information that you don't have. I know the
Mm,
same,
mm,
but I know that it won't be there this year or maybe the next one. If
mm,
it comes one day, it's really not now at all, so we don't have to
mm,
think about it. But if it
mm,
comes one day, everything will be easier because instead of having our own database, taking everything from Dofus DB, etc., we could do crazy thing. For example, we could put an arrow directly on the game showing you where you have to go. We
Oh
could
wow.
directly read the quest from the game to know which quest you should do now by the status of
Mm-hmm.
the other one. We
Mm-hmm.
could know which quest you finished. We could know where you are, etc., etc. But sadly, it won't happen,
Mm.
or at least it won't happen soon.
Every time I speak with Gluto in depth about this topic right here, because he is just like you and your team, he is very tool oriented. He will make stuff, and he has played other games, which not many Dofus players have done. And other games with bigger budgets and sort of better vision, I could say, have it so that you go to ganymede.dofus.com and then you put your account and then it reads the data of your entire account and it shows you exactly where you need to go and what the next step should be, and you can access your inventory through the website. You can see your bank, you can change position of an item from your bank to this and that, and you can sort of operate a lot of things about your game from external tools that are made by the community themselves, but the devs, the actual team, has okayed them and has given them the necessary help for that to be functional.
That
Uh,
would be a dream. But
yeah.
they
Do
tried
you
it in the
think it
past.
is a dream or is it something that might happen sometime soon?
It's the middle of the both. I would say it won't happen before maybe 3 years. That's what I think.
Okay, 3 years.
But if they do it, and I really don't know, that would be a
Mm.
dream. But it's really hard for Dofus because they didn't think the game to make that work, so they have
Mm-hmm.
to think about security, because if they give access to devs to some things,
Mm-hmm.
they have to be sure that I cannot do wrong thing with it. If I can read from your account,
Mm-hmm.
how do they protect the fact that I know what you put in auction house and then a bot behind could lower the price directly when you put something in the game? Or, well,
Mm.
we can think of a lot of different things
A lot of
that you could
deviant
do
things.
wrong. Yep.
Mm.
And I think they tried something a few
They
years,
have in the
a lot
past,
of years,
yes. Yeah. What do
but
you know about that?
I don't know a lot, but from what I understood, apparently it was directly used wrong, and that's why they stopped it.
Oh no.
That's what I heard, but that's not real information I have.
Hmm.
So it would
I
be a
see.
dream, and we
Yeah.
would love it.
Yeah. Just as an aside there, Pynx, how useful is the lower end? Because you said you haven't made the guides yet, but I am sort of trying to finish my 6 out of 6, 6 sur
Yep.
6, and then go towards Sylvan. How useful is Ganymede right now at this point in time to me? If I'm, this is what
Right
I'm working
now,
on.
we almost finished everything up to the 190. We still
Yeah.
have to finish a few details,
Mhm.
and we lack a lot in the 200 part.
Mm.
We have to work on that, but as you can probably understand, it's really long because we
It's
have to
time
write down
consuming. Yeah.
everything.
Every
We are
step, yeah.
three different people, and we're doing that on our free time. And as you know,
Yeah.
we are not asking anything, so we all have our job, and
Yeah.
we also want to play games on our time. We also have a family, etc. So only our
Yeah.
free time. So sometime I won't work for a week, sometime I will work 2 days completely.
Yeah.
So it just takes time. We're
Mhm.
working the fastest we can, and if it's not there now, it will be in the future, but we have to work on it.
Okay.
And we
Here's
also
another
have to
question.
verify
Oh, sorry,
everything,
go.
so it
I
takes a
have
lot
to
of
double
time.
check and verify. Yep. Another question from chat. Will there be guides that focus on profession? I feel like I can answer that. If you make one, Gemini, there will be one. No, but to you,
Exactly.
Pynx. To you, Pynx. What do you think about profession? Because it's a feature that we've seen in the other app that was mentioned earlier. But is that something that you envision adding? Like a
For now,
category?
we are focusing on the main guides to complete every achievement related to
Mm-hmm.
quest.
Mm-hmm.
But in the future, why not? And like you said before, anyone is welcome to make any guide. So if
Okay.
someone makes something, you can share it on our Discord. You can just reach to us. And if you want to be certified because you think you're making a great job and that people will like it, just reach out to us. We have a Discord that I think Goat can
Okay.
link, which is also available on the website directly. And anyone can make anything. So go ahead.
Remarkable. Thank you for that. Another question from chat. That isn't a question. That's just Panzer reminiscing over OSRS from RuneLight, where you could do cool things from your browser and things like that. Persona, silly question, but how are you defining the levels of content? Interesting. How do you define what is level 190 and what isn't?
Well, we kind of take the quest levels and we have it depends. Sometimes we take the first quest. For example, if you take the Ochre Dofus, it's only at 60 because you can start as soon as level 50 or something. So
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
not exactly a level requirement. It's more of
Mm.
an advice.
Okay.
We put them as soon as you can start them normally. So
Okay.
it's not a precise level, and you can also see it in the guide usually.
Fantastic. I suck at professions that's why I'm asking. Thank you for that, Gemini. Professions too easy. Many guys out there already. Nice. Lady Missai has answered the same question. The quests have a level. Fabulous. I feel like we have done, as we say in France, on a fait le tour. We have covered pretty much everything that there was to
Yep.
cover. I want to still take the opportunity, just in the spirit of full disclosure. Do you feel like there was something that we have omitted, something that you have a burning desire to put forth, something we've missed?
Except for the next part about what we need,
Mm-hmm.
I think we are good.
Okay, fabulous, fabulous. Guys, I feel like we've done the tour as well. And we're about to get to the meat of it, and the reason why I have accepted to do this. As you know, I do not get paid to do this. I do not stream as a job, so I tend to pay. And even if I did, I would pay the same, if not more, attention to who I recommend and who I give a platform to and who I present to you in any of my streams. So I curate my guests, and I feel like Pynx has passed the vibe check. And I've explained to him and the team, Goat Freezy in private, that really what we're doing is a really cool thing of gathering everyone in one place and creating a positive environment where everybody can be themselves, everybody can share their knowledge, have fun, find friends, jump on voice chat and do things. This is what we are. A community that speaks one language, English, that we've agreed, despite it not being our first language all. But what we aren't is a translation service. But what we are at the same time is a community that looks to help. And we don't always do things where it benefits us individually. And here I can very easily think of 10,000 things that people have done for free that do not benefit us directly, materially, or with time or whatever. Gluto making his tools at the pub. I'll show you this really cool thing, Pynx. We have always had a problem with quests because we use Dofus pour les noobs and we translate it to English in order to be able to use it. But that creates a difficulty when you auto-translate a quest. It doesn't translate well all the time. So Gluto has devised this nifty tool where any chat you're in, if you put translate, there's a little bot called Wee Wee Baguette that comes out. And it asks you, do you want to translate a quest, an item, or an achievement? You pick a quest, you put the name, and then it gives you the both names in French and in English. And you can do that with every single item, quest, resource, achievement, and then you can use the actual reliable name to look for it in Dofus pour les Noobs or the English Dofus wiki. That is one example of something that has been done in the spirit of bettering everybody's experience of the game, but doesn't necessarily remunerate the author. I can also think, and this is going to blow your mind there, Pynx, Jay on Shadow, who I shouted out earlier, is the main contributor of Dofus Wiki. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Really?
Do you know Dofus fandom, Dofus
Oh,
Wiki?
yeah. You showed me this before.
This is our only and our sort of best purely in English source that has loads of information, and it works quite like what you've showed me here when you go to my guys and you're making them. When he showed us how to make a post there, if you want to change Lord Crow's, the position, this, that,
Yeah.
he pays similar kind of attention to his work and he contributes a lot. He's one of the top, if not the main contributor to this, and he does it for free to this website that is for profit. All of this was to illustrate a point that we all do things that we don't necessarily get remunerated for, all within the spirit of bettering our collective experience. And I feel right now, with the diligence I've done before the conversation and the grilling we've given Pynx throughout this conversation, that I'm happy to recommend this as something that is worthy of us paying attention to, whether it be to use it, contribute to it, or help it continue afloat or get better one way or another. We all have competencies. I can translate. Other people can make websites. This, and that. You all know this. I'm not teaching you anything new. With that in mind, Pynx, in an ideal world, with the entire international community listening to this now, and later on when I'll post the VOD on YouTube, the summary of this conversation, what is it that Ganymede would require from a community that has the ability to help one way or another? What sorts of things are you looking for? How can we make Ganymede great again? No, I should not use that. Better.
So what we are actually searching are people able to speak a little bit of French, good enough to understand sentences, or even if it's just a little bit, Google Translate would work well. What we're searching are people that can write English really correctly, because all the team can speak English, but we make a lot of different mistakes. We always use the same words. So it's not the best if we do it by ourselves. We can do it. It will probably be readable for anyone, but it won't be as good as we would like. So what we searching are people who would like to take our French guides and correctly translate them to English. What I explained earlier, the fact that we can already translate all the items is the big part we made, so it's easy and you don't have to find the words and use the famous oui oui baguette to help you. So this big part was already done. So on our side, we have the ability to make a copy of a guide, translate all the quest item, monster, and dungeon to English, and then give it to someone who would translate all the steps. That's a big job, which is, well, free. But that's what we are actually searching. And not only for English, but also for Spanish and Portuguese, which are the main language of players on Dofus.
Okay, quick question. From my understanding, from what you've said now, and thank you very much for that answer, is there is already a sort of basis to take an existing guide that you've worked on and you've created to pixel perfect, as you would say in the French community. It's pixel perfect. It has all the elements. I'm able to turn it into English, right? Automatically.
Exactly. I will ask Goat, which is who is with us, to, for example, take the Saharaj guide, make a copy of it, translate it to English and put it under your name. If he's still there, he should be able
Yeah.
to do all that, and you will see it in your guides. If you go to my guides, well, after he made it, it should be really fast. Well, he already made it.
I think
So
I've
no,
created a copy. I've
okay,
duplicated it.
it's already in English. So as you can see, this is what we will give to people. Every quest, every item is already translated to English, and the
How do I, excuse me, I've duplicated it, but it's still in French. How do I turn it into English, albeit
uh,
the bad auto-generated English?
can you go to the top of the website?
Yep, all the way at the
Yep,
top.
you can click the edit button on the top, the crayon, the green crayon,
Yeah.
and there you can put it to English. The translation of the words was done by us. Well, it was programmed to work automatically. And now what you have right there is what we will give to people. God
But,
already made the change. So
but this is in French, is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, so what we need are people that will take this and translate it to English. What was
Yes.
translated are only the item, because that's the hard part. That's the part
Dofus
that
DB.
no one except someone that played the game in the two languages will know the two words.
I see what you mean. Okay, so here's what happened when I've turned this into English. It has created a copy. It is in English, but it only changes the hyperlinks things that are
Yeah,
linked to a database, like marbled meat is in English, gold, but
yeah.
everything else, I'll tell you what. Are you able to add the ability to auto-translate this so that it's already in English, so that when I come in, if I've done duplicate, change the language, I want to be able to come here and go to step 1, unfold, and it's already in bad English, let's say, in auto-translated English, and I can just say change the sentence structure, and if it gets something awfully wrong, then
Well,
droppable and
actually,
just change it.
we tried, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
really working because of those items. Mm. Because
Oh, this
those
stops
items,
it.
yeah, they doesn't really exist, and they
Mm-hmm.
have to be pixel perfect to work, because it's not the exact translation. It's the
Okay,
translation
okay.
Ankama decided. So if you
Mm-hmm.
take the whole sentences, we thought about extracting those items from the sentence,
Mm-hmm.
translate, and then put them back in, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not working because our languages are not working the same order, the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So if we take part by extracting the item, it's not really possible to put them back. It's really hard to make.
Okay.
So that's why we are
I've
searching for people able to simply understand French, or just use Google Translate.
Okay, it feels like if somebody knows their IT, they understood what you meant.
Yeah.
There, yeah. And yeah, so this is the main requirement, is for people to put in the effort of taking a guide that has already been made. You've made this one, which looks fantastic and super detailed. You can duplicate it into English. And the moment you've done that, then all the key things, viande persillée becomes marbled meat.
I actually
And
thought Gotha to do it, but it's actually public, so anyone
okay,
can do it.
thank you for the result, Bolt. But the everything else stays in French because of some technical difficulties that you've said that does not make it so easy for
It's really hard to make it
automat.
work and give
Okay.
something that is usable.
Fabulous, fabulous. I feel like I know the first and most essential. Would you say this is the core of everything that is required right now?
Yep, exactly. We really
Okay,
need people
okay.
to do it correctly.
Thank you so much for the ratis. I appreciate that. Okay, it makes complete sense. Are there any sort of secondary things that you wouldn't necessarily want to mention, or you've thought about but haven't had the opportunity to mention yet? Things that are also useful that you could do with a hand with, but you haven't mentioned so far?
Um, what can I say? We are always open to any advice. If you think something of what we show is not that good or could be improved, or if you have any idea to improve, we are open on our Discord and we are open to any suggestion because well, it's made for the players, so we need the players to make it really good. For example, in our team, we have no one good for the UIs, so we kind of copied the Unity UI, but we all know how it worked. Actually, no one liked the Unity interface. I'm
Yep.
probably one of the only one who likes it,
No!
but it's
Not,
probably because
never
I'm
let
a
Eternaris hear you say that.
no. I actually talked with Eternaris about
Uh-huh.
that. He liked the project, but he doesn't have enough time to work with us because he
Oh, you
have
mean on the
way
on Ganymede? Okay, okay, okay,
yeah
okay.
he have way too much
Oh,
work.
man, since he took up the job with Ankama, he has been killing it with polls and putting up displays and making people vote on this. How do you like that? Which direction do you think we should go with this? But that is fabulous. That's awesome to hear. And I hope sometimes, if you're listening to this Eternaris, why don't you sometimes when you have time, look at this. Looks really cool, and it could do with some more. It's already fantastic, as I've said, design-wise. You guys have put in the work. But yeah, it would be awesome to see further collaboration in this sense. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Um, uh, I feel like we covered everything, but I still had one crucial, critical question I wanted to pose to you, Pynx. Because this is a community project, you said that you're happy for people to get in touch with you and throw their ideas, the way they do things. This was one of the main difficulties that I've noticed with everyone in the pub when we've created it. One of the biggest, most shocking things was that we were open for anybody with ideas to come and put them forth. We have a suggestion box, the channel. What would you like to see get here? People are not used to this. Can you please make a plea or just make it clear how you will handle if let's say somebody that is tech oriented has seen a way that you could auto-translate, solve for this problem that you've mentioned just now, where when you duplicate, you turn it into English, it changes the essential clickable items like from the database, from Dofus DB, but everything else stays in French. If somebody knows a solution to fix that, can you tell them how they can get in touch with you and where to find you and how you'd like to be spoken with in Discord or via phone or...
I'm always available on Discord. I always have my phone with Discord on me, so I answer like almost anytime, except if I'm sleeping. I should answer less. So if someone want to get in touch with me, you can first reach me on Twitter, which is available on the website on the little Twitter picture on Ganymede. The private message are open, or you can directly reach us on Discord. The Discord is also available on the website on the Discord image, or directly on the app. And right there, you can see all the staff members, which are well on the top right of Discord, like every every channel. And right there, you can directly contact me, Pynx, or anyone from the staff, and we will be happy to answer you. And if someone who's working in IT have any idea or any suggestion, maybe directly related to the code itself, since it's open source to anyone, we are happy to take any suggestion. We did it in the past. Some IT guys reached to us because we had some security problems, and we fixed it. So we are more than happy to answer anyone. But I think I will be the one answering the most because
Okay.
some of the others maybe have less time or are not happy to answer question. Well, that's not the
Okay.
right way to say it, but let's say some people prefer if I do it for them. Not everyone want to answer a question all day long.
Fabulous. That is awesome. Binks, I'd like to say thank you so much for this conversation. We
Thank you.
rarely get sort of collaboration with French content creators, and I do count you under that umbrella. You are a French content creator. You have made something that is useful to our gameplay, generally speaking. So it rarely happens, so I appreciate it. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. I've had a good time speaking with you today. And I sort of wanted to, like I do with every single podcast episode, to first of all, before we get there, ask you if do you think there's something that I have not mentioned again for the third time? Anything that I've missed that you think we should cover?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. And the last thing that I do as a little thank you gesture for accepting to share some of your time being here with us is I'd love to open the floor to you and take as much time as you want. You speak with the international community now that is available in chat, all 60 people in there. This will be uploaded to YouTube, so English speaking people that watch my content will review it later. And I'd love for you to sort of tell us how we can support you better. Give as much detail as possible in one bit so that if somebody missed the entire thing, they could just skip to the end, see how they can help, see whether they have the right competencies that you're looking for and where exactly to find it. And Goat or yourself, please feel free to put links down in the chat for people to go and check out your work because it's freaking awesome, man.
Summarizing everything will be hard.
Take as much time as you need. The floor is yours.
So first, I want to thank the English community. We don't think about you enough because we tend to only think about the French part. We're playing on French servers. We almost forget about you. So feel good to know that you are there because you're a part of Dofus. And if anyone want to help us for anything, if you have suggestion, if you want to contribute, if you want to maybe help us work directly on the project, for anything, you can directly reach to us on our Discord or on Twitter. And I think I think that's it. I don't really know what to say more.
Fabulous. I'll take that. I mean, if you think that you could do with more developers to hit you up, bilingual people. I know you've mentioned this before, but if you want to put the emphasis, mettre l'accent on specific kind of people that you want to get in touch, is there anything that comes to mind there?
Not really more than what I said before.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Pynx, team, Goat, Freezy, everybody else, thank you so much for being here with us today. I have thoroughly appreciated the conversation. And I think this little device is going to stay here. I'm going to play with it and work out how I can make it help me progress further. And I can tell you for a fact as well. Of course. On Discord, I've joined it now. And the other thing I can tell you for a fact, if you're still around during December, if you're not too busy with your own adventure, and you manage to pass by the stream sometime then, I think you might see this little bubble pop up when I'm speed running the first few quests.
I hope so.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pynx, for being here. Lots
Thanks
of
to
love,
you.
man. Appreciate it.
Thanks.